Today we have Michael Sims. He's one of our advisors that is working in the model, and I'd like him to share a little bit about his experience, some of the things that he's gone through, and hopefully this will be helpful for everybody to hear. Michael, why don't we start out by talking a little bit about your background?
Okay. Well, thanks for having me first off, Ken. I have been in the financial services industry now about 10 years. Had a over 20-year career, excuse me, in the medical services, technology, and supply industries, and ran small businesses, large businesses, but found myself in the financial services industry, and really have developed a passion to engage with people and find solutions to meet their needs. Currently, I'm a founding partner of Veracity Financial Services here in Palm Beach County, Florida. There's 3 of us who work as advisors with Veracity, and the model that we've adopted for probably the last 16 months has changed pretty much the way we do everything in our business.
And so tell me a little bit about that experience. How have you kind of evolved? How did you decide to make that change? How did that actually take place?
Okay, well, when I think both the financial industry, the financial services industry, the investment community, and the insurance community utilize a training tool for new advisors that kind of is counterintuitive to doing good business. It's sell your friends and family, your natural market. If you can sustain yourself for 2 years or more, then they start working with you to really solve problems, create platforms that you can find new clients and help people. They also would encourage us to just cold call CPAs and offer the quid pro quo referral for referral type relationship. I personally resisted that simply because I recognized early on that a CPA could make my career with one referral, and there's no way that I would ever be able to repay the same to the CPA. So to me, it was disingenuous to say it was quid pro quo, and I made a point early on not to call on the CPA industry, because I just didn't believe that sort of relationship would ever be mutually beneficial.
So how did you decide eventually to get involved with ERT? What changed?
Well, we built our business working with a lot of business owners and high net worth individuals, and obviously anyone in the industry has had a situation where they've done the homework, they've worked hard, they've put together a great program for a client that meets the need and solves the problem that the client may articulate to them in their fact finding, submit the final draft of the plan to the client, who takes it to their CPA. And as Dave Morgan loves to say, CPAs are professional skeptics. The CPA says, hey, pump the brakes, let's not do this, let's take a look deeper, and eventually the program goes nowhere because it gets put on the back burner, and it becomes unimportant, and the client misses out on a valuable solution simply because the CPA was uncomfortable being presented soup to nuts a strategy, a solution, without being involved.
So what changed? Well,
I have looked ever since I started in the industry, trying to find partners to work with that were innovative. We partnered with a large commercial line agency to try to work with business owners. We've partnered with local family offices. We've worked directly with trust companies from an insurance standpoint. So we're always looking for innovative strategies. I guess from the healthcare industry, I learned strategic partnerships oftentimes were great um, avenues to solve a big problem. And that required everybody to stay within their footprint and work together with the end goal being a solution for the client. Actually saw some online social media marketing from Elite Resource Team, like I see from many other organizations who claim to have the solution for advisors. But there was some credibility. A college classmate of mine was linked to the organization, and it was an opportunity for me to reach out to him and ask him questions and know that he would give me honest feedback. The first thing that my college classmate said was, I'm not going to tell you that the folks at ERT have everything down pat. They're working on it, but I can tell you the principals of ERT are some of the most honest gentlemen who are, their character is flawless, and their passion is creating something that really works. To me, that's what's important. I don't expect that everybody has all the answers. I am very leery of someone who says, hey, join us, and you instantly become a millionaire, because if it sounds too good to be true, it usually is.
So tell me about what made you ultimately decide to get involved with ERT, and what your experience has been since you've done that.
Okay, so after I spoke with my college classmate, I started doing my online research. I started poking around the edges and digging deeper and taking my time, and eventually had the opportunity to speak with you and Anton. And I found that the initial conversations, you were receptive. You were not put off by my wariness. You understood that I was vetting the process, and that I wasn't just going to come running through the doors with my arms open. We decided that the training, what information that I got on what the training was based upon, and how the end result was supposed to look from the training, I felt that was worth the initial investment to come on board and get exposed to the advisor portal, where once I was exposed and opened up, and I believe Anton may have exposed me to it before I committed, just because I wanted to know what was there. I think it did the 8 weeks of training in about 11 days, because to me it was remarkable. It was everything that I fell short on with regards to dealing with CPAs. And I could see immediately that it was going to change my relationship with CPAs, that my conversation with CPAs was going to no longer be kind of the quid pro quo, good old boy, whatever, trying to read who the CPA is to get the occasional referral, but that now I was going to be armed and able to go sit with the CPA and know that he needed me and the resources that I bring to the table as much as I would need him and the knowledge that he brings to the table.
Okay. And then the two of you could effectively work in that team relationship.
Absolutely. And that's really been, I've had many CPAs who say, it's too good to be true, and are reluctant to look at, for some reason their bias is, it can't possibly be. And the more, I would find myself then pursuing them to say, no, it can be. And I realized if they're not going to be open to embrace it, there are many more CPAs out there who are. And that's the low-hanging fruit. Those are the people that we want to be engaged with, who bring us opportunity, who will sit down with us. And I had a lunch meeting yesterday with a CPA who began, I was introducing the model to them. They were somewhat aware. We've had telephone conversations, but we really sat down for lunch and flushed the model out and how it would work, and how we would expect each other to work in the model for the client. immediately the two CPAs start listing off clients that they want to take through the model, and they're new clients, and they really want, to impress them, and these are opportunities. And, that's fun to be sitting at a table where strategically we're involved in the conversation to yield the client the best possible result, and then assure the CPA, and I'm not charging him anything, that the revenue streams are built within the model. I come along in a form of fulfillment in certain strategies, but in other strategies, I'm okay not being compensated because, a tax attorney can't compensate me for bringing them a client for a strategy. But the end result is the client benefits, and that's going to yield more opportunities for more of the CPA's clients down the road. It's kind of the rising tide philosophy that we talk about. Is we don't have to make money on every little thing we do for the client. There's plenty of revenue within every client opportunity, and that leads to more clients.
Good, good. So tell me about, Michael, some of the things that you've learned that you can share with the listeners. Maybe people might be thinking about this model or working. What are some of the things you've learned and some of the tips that you would offer now, knowing what you know now versus maybe a year and a half ago when you got started?
That's a great question. I think we all, and it's fun to counsel some of the newer advisors that come in on the Facebook chat groups and on conference calls. I came in, I have a very strong history of sales success, really focused on, a confidence that I can sit with really anyone, and high net worth, senior executives, CEOs. I don't ever feel like I'm, out of place. But there were times when I would deviate from the model, and I would supplement the script or take things out of the script if I didn't have a sense, if I was trying to run it off of my feel and not commit to the process that ERT established. And I quickly realized those situations, the process would get away from me. And that I could come back in and look at the scripts from the first meeting and the process and look at the flow of information and how you present the model to CPAs. You're psychologically, you're managing for them little tidbits and nuggets and nuggets and nuggets for them to put it all together and create this big picture and have the aha moment. If you lead with the big picture and then try to dismantle it into little nuggets and little pieces, it loses its excitement, and it quickly becomes one of those situations where the CPA says, I think it's too much work, or I can't see how this would work for my clients, and really run into that. So the first thing I'd say is when you make the commitment that you want to change the way you do business, change the way you do business. Commit to the model that you and Anton have spent the time and the energy and the money to put together a process that works. That if you stick with the process and you stick with the flow of the scripts, that you have a higher likelihood of converting a CPA from a skeptic to a believer. If you try to do it in your own words, your own approach, you're deviating, you're going to miss something, something's not going to be clear, there's going to be confusion, and that relationship with the CPA is never going to evolve into what the model will evolve it into.
Yeah, very good, very good. Tell me about some of the cases that you're working on, and what this model will do for your future production, where things are at.
It was exciting when we first committed to it and learned it, and I came out to the first Advisor Academy and brought back, brimming with knowledge and just all excited to sit down with a CPA and go through it with them, that immediately, he said, I've got a client I need help with, and we transitioned in a physician who was retiring that needed some annuity help, some AUM strategies, and some tax planning strategies right off the bat. So that was affirmation that we'd made the right choice, because here was a guy who had never referred to us any client, and immediately the client total AUMs north of $1.5 million. So it was nice. It was a very nice affirmation. We've worked with CPAs who have had clients that were selling commercial properties that were terrified. Actually, I'm in Florida, but the client was in New York. Terrified of paying over $350,000 of capital gains tax. And so we were able to educate the client on the various strategies, which ERT has provided us the knowledge and contacts and resources to bring to the table, but to educate the client that he didn't have to just sell it and take the immediate capital gains consequence, that there were other strategies that we could bring to bear, and ultimately either engage in a advisory fee capacity to shepherd the process through, or create a long-term AUM fee opportunity for our firm.
So it sounds like it's I'm sorry.
Working with a high net worth individual now as well with premium finance life insurance strategy. People who do a lot of premium finance know the process. We haven't done a lot. We're aware of it, and we have opportunity, but we've never had partners who could come and manage the process. And really the strength was having the CFO of the family office, sitting down with him and having our partner on the line, conducting the initial conversation and working through the illustrations for the CFO of the family office, who immediately looks at me and says, wow, it's not just you trying to hobble this together. It's actually, you've got a team. And it's correct. We're working with people who do nothing but premium finance, who finance policies. So that's progressing. As always, we'd love it to progress quicker than it currently is, but it's progressing, and we've gained the trust of a family office for a very, very high net worth family that you would know if we published it in the newspaper. So it's a lot of fun. It's exciting to be able to have something to bring to the table and do good work.
Good. So let me ask you this, Michael. I don't know that I've ever talked to you about this before, but have you looked at any other kinds of programs? And if so, why did you choose Elite Resource Team?
Yeah, I have. Our firm is, we're affiliated with BEI, the Business Enterprise Institute, that we get a lot of education on business owner exit planning. And it's a phenomenal relationship for us from an education and marketing standpoint towards the business owner. Mm-hmm. But from that, we were introduced to a group geographically in the same area, Denver, who markets heavily to advisors of a concept of saying, hey, look, we can help you create great relationships with CPAs. So, obviously I don't, I look at everything. I want to make sure that we're doing things the best possible way for the money that we spend. I think at one point we had a conversation where I said, Ken, you asked if we were all in. I said, I'm paying you a training fee. I'm all in. That doesn't get any more all in than that. But this other firm, their sum total program was, hey, we create joint marketing programs where you can go out and, tell the CPA that you'll create a marketing program for them and hope they bring clients to the table. And yeah, CPAs need help marketing, but it's a heck of a lot more effective for me when I'm talking to CPA is to say what's more important. In our model, when the client is satisfied, he's going to carry your business card around and hand that out to his friends and tell them what a great job we did for him. any other model, it doesn't matter how many yellow page ads you have or billboard ads as a CPA, the word of mouth referral is the most powerful referral in the CPA community. So, I just kind of shrugged them off and laughed and said, I can't see how agreeing to do, it's like doing seminars. I'm going to pay a lot of money to go do seminars so that I hope I can earn that money back and not go broke and just have a CPA loan. This is a model that creates a value for the client, and the client is happy to go share with their friends who are typically in the same income range what a great job the CPA's done for them, and build our opportunities that way.
So you're really working to give the value to the CPA and allow them to expand the value they can offer to their clients.
Right. And I understand I've met lots of advisors in the industry who think that they hung the moon and they lead the charge on everything, and maybe this model isn't necessarily for them. There's a humility that you need to bring to the table when working with a CPA, and understand the CPA is bringing their client, and the best possible result that could come from that is their client gives a referral with them. Mm-hmm. Ultimately, it's to the CPA to do work with us.
Yeah. So
it's supporting the CPA really grow their business in that fashion.
Yeah. So it sounds like it's been a pretty good experience for you overall. It's been extraordinary. I mean, it makes a lot of what we do a lot more fun. And a lot more creative, and if you're someone who wants to know that you're doing the right things for your client, mm-hmm. That you will have the time and the opportunity to educate the client and really, have them have that satisfied sense when they walk away, this is the model to do it in. That's great. That's great. Well, Michael, thank you for taking time today to sit through this interview and talk with us a little bit about your experience and what this has meant to you in your practice. And sounds like you're going in a very positive direction. We're happy to be a part of it. Together, working together as a family, we can definitely make this thing work and go to the highest level possible. So I want to thank you again for taking time, and thank you for coming in and listening to this interview, and hope everyone has a great day. Have a good one. You're welcome. Thank you, Michael.